There is a new, mysterious doors entity that was recently revealed to us in a hidden leak, and in this video, I'll be trying to figure out everything about it. Alright, so as you all probably know, the next Doors update is going to be introducing the brand new garden subfloor, and much like with other floors in the game, there's going to be new entities which can be encountered inside of it. The developers recently released a very secret teaser though, which exposes one of these new entities, and its existence is very mysterious, largely because we have no clue about how it would function. So, in this video, we'll be diving into the mystery of this new entity, and we'll be trying to figure out how it will work even before its official debut. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so in case you need a reminder, L-Splash, the owner of Doors, recently changed their Twitter profile picture to a much more detailed and high-quality one. Now, although that is all fine and dandy, there is actually a secret garden subfloor teaser hidden inside of it. If we download the profile picture and look at it from there, we'll notice that what appears to be a circle actually has corners. And better yet, these corners are actually images of new areas in the upcoming garden subfloor. Now, I've already made a video analyzing the secret teaser, so check that out if you haven't already. But something which caught my attention is the mysterious new entity shown in it. Here, take a look at the corners of this image. Can you spot the new entity hiding within it? Well, I wouldn't blame you if you couldn't. I mean, of course, I myself am a professional at finding stuff like this, and your puny little brain can't comprehend it, but here, let me show it to you. In the bottom right corner, you can find a mound of dirt, with what appears to be a plant coming out of its center. It's also possible the plant is behind the mound, and the perspective makes it seem like it's coming out of the mound. But for the purposes of this video, we'll say they are connected. It also makes the most logical sense, as the chance that a random plant decoration is perfectly behind this mound of dirt is just unrealistic. Now, you're probably thinking right now, Cheddar, what the hell are you on about? It's a freaking pile of dirt. Why are you making a whole video about it? Well, my dear viewers, this pile of dirt is actually a new entity, believe it or not. At least, I'm pretty sure it is. Now, in my original video covering this teaser, I stated how I believe this dirt mound myth was some type of variant of the snare entity, which can be found in the greenhouse. But after further inspection, the two seem to be way too different to be the same. So this is clearly something very different. So, if this dirt pile isn't snare, what could it be? Well, for one, we can't see crap with this grainy image. So let's upscale and enhance it a little. An acquaintance of mine, known as the Cat, actually took this dirt pile and remodeled it to accurately depict what is shown in the teaser, at least to the best degree given how the image is quite low quality and details can be lost because of that. Here, this is their remodel of the entity, and from it we can get a much better sense of what we are dealing with. For starters, it appears the dirt pile isn't actually just a dirt pile, but it contains some rock-like ridges as well. If we look back at the teaser, we can see the ridges on the mound are alternate between brown and gray, implying it isn't all dirt. Okay, so now we know we have a pile of dirt and rocks instead of just a pile of dirt. How is that important? Well, with this distinction, we can more effectively compare this thing to snare. Now, in case you don't know, or just forgot, snare is a special plant-like entity which spawns solely in the courtyard and greenhouse in the hotel, and it stuns anyone who steps on it by impaling their foot with a bunch of spikes. Visually, snare is the closest thing to this dirt mound, as they both kind of are just clumps of brown stuff. And given how snare is technically a plant, I have reason to believe they'll actually appear in the garden subfloor, which, as you probably know, is heavily plant-themed. This means that just like giggles are a variation of Screech, this mysterious dirt pile with a plant coming out of it would be a variation of snare. implying that it only affects players once they are stepped on, which makes sense as I don't see how it could reach players otherwise. However, with that being said, there's a very important difference I must state with both this entity and Snare. Snare, although looking like a useless pile of dirt, actually is a plant, with its entire body mass being a giant brown plant thing. This dirt mound is, well, just a dirt mound, at least based on its appearance, and it also has some rocks in it. And this leads me to believe that the mound itself is just a decoration, and the entity itself is actually the plant coming out of it. Think of it kinda like Louis in his little tunnel. The tunnel itself only signifies the location of the entity, and Louis himself actually emerges out of it. I believe the same thing is happening here. So, unlike what I've been doing this whole video, we should be looking at the plant coming out of the dirt rather than the dirt itself. So, with that being said, what would this plant even do? Well, my first theory is that they function like a reverse snare. You see, when I first saw this entity, my mind immediately jumped to the Herbivoridis, a special plant item that heals players who touch it. What if the plant coming out of the hole works in the same way, where unlike stepping on Snare, which results in you taking damage, stepping on this plant actually causes it to heal you? I always had a suspicion that the garden Subfloor would give more lore and context to the existence of the Herbivoridis, and this just might be part of that. Still, this theory is quite a stretch, but I do have another one which I think is a lot more likely. The cat, who, if you somehow already forgot, was the guy who remodeled the dirt and plant, actually stated how it's possible that the entity could function like Louis, where they emerge out of the hole if the player gets too close, or just periodically to check out the scene. And the leaf itself is part of the entity's body. Think of it kind of like an anglerfish, where instead of a small light connected to the head of a creature, a small plant is instead. I think this is a much more likely theory, as one, it's a lot more interesting than a random healing plant coming out of the ground, and two, it makes sense as an entity similar to it, that being Louis, is already in the game. As for how an entity like this would function, I'm kind of unsure. It could have the same healing property I mentioned earlier, but given how almost every entity indoors is trying to kill you, I wouldn't make an exception for this one. Still, I think this is a likely explanation for what the plant coming out of this little dirt hole could mean. Anyways, that was the whole video. I'm super excited to see what will be added in the subfloor, and I am quite glad we finally got our first look at one of the new entities coming in it. Of course, it is always possible that this is just some random decoration, but I hope it isn't, as that would be kinda boring. So, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think this entity will do, and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.